Today, we invite you to join us on a journey through ancient Egypt as we present the findings of our exploration into one of the world's greatest civilizations. Our findings reveal that ancient Egypt was not merely a civilization, but also a society distinguished by remarkable achievement across various fields. From architecture to science, medicine, writing, and art, the Egyptians developed systems and innovations that reflected a highly advanced and organized civilizations for its time. Ancient Egypt's geographical location played a major role in the rise of its civilization. At the center of this development was the Nile River, which served as the main source of water, transportation, and fertile land in an otherwise desert environment. The annual flooding of the Nile enriched the soil, allowing agriculture to flourish and ensuring a stable food supply for the population. We argue that the innovations of ancient Egypt became part of a legacy that continues to influence the world centuries later. And here are our findings.
It appears the boats of Ra are the key to our escape. Aha! Quickly, Sherman! Careful, Sherman. It's a booby trap. One wrong step and we're done for. The boat of Ra sails straight today. Take the wrong boat, man will pay. All right, Sherman, now it's your turn.
The boat of Ra sails straight play. Pay.
Oh my.
Uh-oh.
The architecture so fascinating is that it wasn't just about building structure, it deeply reflects their religion, power, and strong belief in the afterlife. There are three main architecture examples we should highlight. First is the pyramid. These were built as a monumental tomb for the pharaoh. A prime example is the Great Pyramid of Giza, which is right now stand as a powerful symbol of eternity and control. And second, the temple, which is built especially to worship their god. A great example is the Karnak temple. The structure typically featured massive column, large open courtyard, and grand entrance. And the third is the tomb, mostly located in the Valley of the King. This underground chamber were beautifully decorated with detailed painting and hieroglyphy. Now, let's talk about what they used to build this masterpiece. For permanent monumental structure like temple and pyramid, they use heavy stone, including limestone, sandstone, and granite. On the other hand, everyday building and house were made from mud brick. And interestingly, they used very little wood due to the limited natural resources in their environment. So, to conclude all of this, why does the architecture of ancient Egypt matter so much today? First, we can see it from the global influence. It heavily influenced later civilization, including Greek and Roman architecture. And secondly, its engineering marvel. It serves as proof of their highly advanced engineering and meticulous planning, and also their mathematics. So, ultimately, even after thousands of years, it remains one of the greatest achievements in architectural history.
Verb, we should get our own mummy.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bow. Let me tell you about my buddy, he's 3,000 years old. He's wrapped in bandages and covered in molded debris. My undead mummy and me. If a bully ever tries to poke me in the eye, I'll introduce him to my decomposing guy and he'll flee from my undead mummy and me.
Ancient Egyptians practiced mummification to preserve the body after death because they believed in the afterlife and the myth of Osiris. They mainly carried out the process for wealthy people and high-ranking officials, which reflected social differences in ancient Egypt. The process gave Egyptians early knowledge of the human organs and preservation methods. Today, scientists can still study many of these preserved bodies thousands of years later. Mummification shows how ancient Egyptians connected religion closely with scientific practices. Ancient Egyptians created the Ebers Papyrus as one of the earliest and most complete medical texts in history. The text contains over 700 treatments and discusses heart problems, mental disorders, and women's health. The text also includes magical spells, showing that Egyptians combined practical medicine with spiritual belief. Another medical text prominent in ancient Egypt is the Edwin Smith Papyrus. The text records injuries, trauma, and surgical treatments. The text later received its name from Edwin Smith, the Egyptologist who brought it to public attention. The papyrus presents 48 medical cases in a clear step-by-step format, moving from examination to diagnosis and treatment. Ancient Egyptians engraved surgical tools on temple walls and medical carvings, showing the importance of medicine in their society. Some of these tools were made for dental treatment, which highlights their awareness of dental hygiene and oral health. Historians also credit ancient Egyptians with creating one of the earliest forms of toothpaste using crushed minerals and herbs to clean teeth. Ancient Egyptians used kohl around their eyes not only for beauty, but also for protection against eye infections and strong sunlight. Researchers believe the ingredients in kohl may have helped reduce bacteria and lower the risk of eye diseases, especially in a dusty desert environment. In the field of mathematics, ancient Egyptians created a 365-day calendar based on the Nile River's yearly flooding. They divided the year into 12 months of 30 days and added 5 extra days for festivals. This helped them predict the flooding of the Nile, which was very important for farming and survival. Ancient Egyptian science and medicine were very practical, based on observation, experimentation, and real-life needs like healing, surgery, and understanding the human anatomy. They also created organized systems of knowledge, such as medical texts, along with tools that show early scientific thinking. Overall, their knowledge in mathematics, calendars, and daily practices like dental care and cosmetics show that science was closely connected to everyday life and survival.
To think this could have all been mine.
Penguin's been doing some research. According to these artifacts, when the 2 jewels are properly configured, they're capable of harnessing the power of the sun.
You read ancient Egyptian?
The pictures help.
More than 5,000 years ago, Egypt grew into a powerful and organized kingdom. As the population expanded, farmland increased, and trade became more active, a serious problem appeared. That is, how do you keep track of everything? Try imagining yourself as a government official back then. Your job would include recording how much wheat is collected from each farmer, keeping lists of workers building the pyramids, documenting the laws of the pharaoh, preserving prayers and rituals for the gods. So, without writing, all of this would rely on memory, and humans, as history politely keeps going, are terrible at that. So, writing was born. The earliest system was hieroglyphs, means sacred carving in Greece, appearing around 3200 BC. These are the symbols families carved into the temples and pyramids. Some key features of this hieroglyphs is that it has over 700 symbols. Each symbol can represent a sound, word or idea. It can be written in different directions, from left to right or top to bottom. You just need to follow the direction the animals face. Mostly used for religious and official purpose. Only priests and scribes can properly read them. Over time, Egyptians realized something obvious. Carving 700 symbols everywhere is slow, exhausting, and mildly insane for daily administration. So, around 2700 BC, Harith appeared, a simplified, faster version for hieroglyphs. Think of it like handwriting compared to printed text. It was written using a reed pen on papyrus, a paper-like material made from the papyrus pen along the Nile River. By around 650 BC, an even faster and simpler system appeared, demotic, meaning for the people. If hieroglyphs were ceremonial and Harith was administrative, demotic was the everyday working language of writing, quick, practical, and efficient. Writing in ancient Egypt wasn't something everyone could do. Those trained to write were called scribes, and they were highly respected. Boys from wealthy families were sent to a special school called Pe'eng. It means house of life, to train for years. Their training include memorizing hundreds of symbols, practicing on stone fragment or pottery called ostraka, only later graduating to expensive papyrus. Becoming a scribe means job security, that you can take a government position, temple administration, and work for wealthy merchants. For centuries after the ancient Egypt fell, hieroglyphs became unreadable. A whole civilization turned into silent symbols on stone. In 1799, Napoleon's army discovered a stone in Rosetta, Egypt, and then it was called the Rosetta Stone. It contained the same text written in three scripts: hieroglyphs, demotic, and Greek. Since Greek was already understood, scholars could compare the text and slowly decode the mystery. In 1822, Jean-François Champollion finally cracked the code, unlocking thousands of years of Egyptian history that had been trapped in silence.
Exquisite, aren't they? Where's the slave market? Down by the docks.
Let's look into Egyptian governance. But before we dive into the governance, we must first look at Egyptian social hierarchy, because Egyptian social hierarchy heavily influenced the government structure. In the biblical text, the Bani Israel were among the slaves. First, the Pharaoh as an absolute ruler. The Pharaoh controlled laws, military, and religion. Example, Ramses II, which were found at the bottom of the ocean. This heavily influenced future government like Vatican City, Pope, because they use the divine authority. Second is 2. Centralized government. Power was highly centralized under the pharaoh. Decision flow from top to bottom. Third is vizier, chief minister, second in command after the pharaoh, manages administration, courts and taxation. Whatever the pharaoh commands, the vizier will execute it. Fourth is bureaucracy system. Officials handle record keeping, agriculture, construction, including scribes. And fifth is Noma, regional governance. Govern provinces called nomes, reported to the central government. Basically, they are local governors and they will report to the Pharaoh. In Malaysia, we call it Menteri Besar. And 6. Legal system based on Ma'at, justice, truth and balance, with Pharaoh was the highest judge. So we know throughout history that none of the pharaohs were truth and just. So the Ma'at system was just a propaganda to keep the people in check. And next is taxation and economic control. Taxes were collected in grain and goods, and state controlled major resources and labor. Lastly, military organization. Protected borders and expanded territory, Pharaoh acted as commander in charge. The military organization also were used for conquest, or to protect Pharaoh and such.
Ancient Egypt shaped the world in ways we still see today. From the Great Pyramid of Giza to early medicine, writing, and systems of government, their ideas changed how people understood life. And maybe that's why, thousands of years later, the world is still fascinated by this civilization.